Before the plebiscite in southern Cameroon, many Cameroonians, particularly of English expression, worked in the Nigerian police force. After the plebiscite, these police officers were given the option to continue with their functions in Nigeria or return to Cameroon. The journey back home was massive, as many police officers opted to get back home to their fatherland. Mr. Scott Monko, though a kid in the 60s, recalls vividly the journey with his father, Pa Monko, a senior police superintendent at the time, with their family members and other families from Nigeria to Cameroon.
The day we left, we took a charter bus. My father had a charter bus. I don't know how they came about, my father had a charter bus. And the police vehicle, they gave us a police vehicle, which we transported as a ride to where they call. I was still small, I think I was 2 to 3 years old, but I still remember what happened. We arrived at Eko. People were packed. All the returnees, Nigerians, I remember we came out from the vehicle, we had to prepare food in the wakapan. And they brought out the food, the food was not enough. And the dogs were there, everything. We had everything, the wakapan, the canteen boxing, and everything. My father had loaded all his police this thing in a box. I arrived Manfred in the night, and they had to blow the police drum, the police trumpet, just to blow that. The policemen from Nigeria, the Cameroonian policemen from Nigeria, to welcome us.
Back home, these police officers were integrated into the existing West Cameroon Police Force, a force into which recruitment was very meticulous. Mr. Esongami Paul and Mr. Esembe Lyonga, recruited into the police force in the 60s, recall that the policeman was trained to be upright, duty-conscious, and patriotic. They emphasized that a policeman was outstanding in cleanliness.
During the weekend, we make sure that we clean our uniform, we brush our shoe, we polish our belts, and keep everything in order, because sometimes in the morning when we come, there's an inspection. They do inspection of the way we dress.
Who was usually carrying out this inspection?
The commissioner was Mr. Antuni, but there were other superintendents, like superintendent, senior superintendent, like Mr. Fominyen, who was in charge of cabinet. Now we can call, like, say, public security. He was in charge of all that, and they used to do inspection. And if they find you that you were not clean, you are disciplined. They get you in what they used to call, an Englishman called the ordinary room, where you are punished. When they tried you, why is it that you are not neat on duty, or you are improper dress? They charge you, and the penalty was an amount of money. Yes, there was an amount of money which they used to say 692 francs for defaulters. And if you are default, you pay that penalty for 3 times, you are dismissed.
Mr. Antoni was a very clean man. So even he can even promote a constable to a higher rank during the parade because of cleanliness. So that made us to copy from him, Mr. Anthony, because he was a very clean man.
But what was putting those lines on those trousers?
Then we used to starch them well.
Yes.
Starch and press well with lines.
There was a lot of discipline. You know, we used to follow the steps of our parents, what they used to do for the police people. Because in the morning, we had this, we used to polish the shoe. Those, the police people, my father had an order. Somebody who comes to the house in the morning, polish the shoe, does this, but everybody in the house has his own portion. Even in the police barrack, every police child had his own portion. Apart from what the police people, the recruits were doing, because they had their place to clear. But in their own compound, we used to have our own portion, you know. And we used to do something. Once in a while, we used to march. We used to march, and then our parents would, you know, just look at us, and then we were very, very happy with what we were doing. And we learned about a lot on discipline.
At the time, if you were leaving the barracks to come to Buea town, you have to obtain permission from your BBNCO. If you don't take permission and they find you that you are not in the barracks, you are placed on a charge, and you are well disciplined and punished.
Were there times that you could leave the barracks, and the latest time that everybody had to be in the barracks?
Of course. When you go in the day, at least 6 o'clock you have to come back, because sometimes they can blow what an Englishman called tattoo. That tattoo, that is, all of you will line out in the evening to see that everybody is in the barracks. Cleanliness in the barracks, we had portions and so on, that you have to keep this portion clean and so on. So that's what we were doing.